Hi, Steve Cooper, Rank Success, and this video as we head from 2022 into the new year 2023 is called Your Promotion Super Briefing. And that's not my language, that's the language from a successful client this year who was promoted from sergeant to inspector, who said, Steve, your stuff, your toolkits that I downloaded, it was just like a super briefing for my promotion ahead of my board. So I wanted to just kind of ease things back a minute before we go out of the traps into 2023 full on, and that's for those of you who've got the mindset to get promoted and you want to get that nailed this year. You may be qualified. If you're not qualified, you've got 2 chances of doing that this year. College of Policing are allowing you to take the sergeants and inspectors exam twice this year, so hopefully some of you will be listening to this video as we go into 2024. But I just wanted to take some time with a cup of tea, just to kind of, as we go into the new year, to share some thoughts with you and to give you some encouragement and a bit of guidance, a bit of direction, and just, as I say, just some food for thought, because it can be a difficult time. It's a new year. If you are not familiar with promotion, then have a look at some of the free podcasts, free videos like this, and free downloadable guides. There's some other free stuff you'll find on my site, ranksuccess.co.uk, free blogs, just to get you orientated and to get you kind of forward focused, ready for that promotion opportunity that you're going to put yourself forward for. And it's perfectly okay at this time of the year to have a bit of downtime, really. Everybody likes to say, well, I've got all my New Year's resolutions planned, I'm going to hit the gym, I'm going to hit the... But if you're going for promotion, you may be able to do all of those things as well, but many people make the mistake of losing focus on what they actually want to achieve. And if you want to achieve a promotion to sergeant, inspector or chief inspector this year, it's going to take you some time, it's going to take you some focus, and you're going to have to prioritise it prioritise your preparation in amongst other things that you want to do in your life and around your work shifts and other family commitments. So I just wanted to start this video really with just getting on board with that, asking you to kind of think about doing a gap assessment from where you are now. It doesn't all have to be all hands to the pump full on. You may not have an opportunity for a couple of months yet, but getting into that mindset now as you get into the new year, if you want to come out of the year with it in the bag, is important. So doing a bit of a gap assessment, a bit of a mature assessment with yourself about where you are now, and comparing where you are now with where you want to be at the end of the year and ultimately. So very much around setting your goals, goal setting, thinking about what you want more of, what you want to achieve and what you want. And so it's a natural time of year to be thinking about that. So if you are going to be talking about goals, be clear on them. In this case, I'm assuming and presuming you want to get promoted, get through a promotion selection process, but I'm not going to assume or presume everything on your behalf, but it's natural to be thinking about goals. And if you are, what steps are needed to reach them? All of this is about that. All of this video will be about that. So making sure that it's a SMART goal. So for those of you who don't know that it's specific, it's measurable, it's achievable, it's relevant, and it's timed. So there's some things to help you structure through your kind of goal setting and to think about your goals and trying to make sure that you have that accountability to yourself, that you're working towards something in a meaningful way. The next part of that really is gathering information. For those of you already kind of ahead of the curve on that, gathering information, what am I talking about? Stage 1 of the NDM. Gather information before you make decisions and work your way around that model. But gathering information, that's where you are at stage 1 of the NDM. Gather information, check it, analyse it, verify, assess it. And to think about, do you want to develop laterally in your job this year? Great. Because not everybody has to go vertical straight away. Lots of the interviews and selection processes for that are still CVF based. So if you are thinking about doing that and you do have a CVF selection process, then there is a bespoke video that I did this year, which is about demystifying the CVF. It's a 3-hour video and I go through all the values, the competencies of the CVF, what it is, what it isn't, and how you can use it to your advantage. So gathering information is important. And then if you do want to prepare or to develop for promotion, then start to lay that out, think through that, work through that. What does that look like this year? And hopefully this video and what I'm going to talk about and some of the resources will help you to do that. Evaluating your professional skills, what are they? What skills do you need to acquire or improve? And what gaps are there? So, you know, having a look again at the CVF, having a look at the competencies that you're going to go for, that you're going to be assessed against for promotion, the 6 specific competencies in the CVF and the 4 values, and to look at that and to then try and think about what experience you've got now that you can use to support and make the case for you being successful and being considered for going for promotion. And have a look at some of the descriptors which describe those behaviours, and just think now, think back and reflect now in this space you've got now at the beginning of the new year, to think about what evidence you might have to put forward, and then think about how you're going to structure it and present it, whether that's in an application, a written promotion application, or verbally in a response. Both of those use different parts of your brain, so give some time and space to thinking through that now and how you might be able to progress that for yourself. Decide on a strategy to get there. You know, what's your plan? Who can help? Well, I'm here now talking to you. There are lots of people who can help. Not everybody will help, because when you ask people for support and assistance and guidance with a promotion selection process, you're sometimes asking them for hours and hours and hours of support. And whilst with the best one in the world, they may be willing to do that, not everybody is. And when you think that hundreds and thousands of people go for promotion every year, clearly with that kind of approach or run up, not everybody's going to get through. So all you can do is focus on yourself now. It's that time of year. Focus on yourself. What do you want to achieve? And to just take that time and space to set out, lay out, think out a plan. Have a look through some of my free blogs, free podcasts, and free YouTube videos, just to get you orientated on that. And then think about the timeline. Are you going to get promoted, you know, this year? Is it a 1-year plan for you to get promoted? Is it a 3-year or a 5-year plan? And that all depends, because this video is targeted at all of you. Because some people take a long run up for promotion and they take, you know, 12 months. You'll see in my testimonials on my site at ranksuccess.co.uk, you'll see hundreds and hundreds of testimonials, each one telling a little story about how people started from this point at the beginning of the year and nailed their promotion, secured their promotion, or to use their language, smashed their promotion, to the point where sometimes they're invited to remain behind on the promotion board to speak with the panel, or when they receive their feedback, the panel want to know, what was it you did? How did you prepare so well and so effectively? Well, this is what this is all about, this promotion super briefing that you can avail yourself and avail for yourself to support your aspirations this year. So having to think about that timeline, are you going to go for promotion in the next year, 2 years or 3 years, and then you can adapt your plan accordingly. And write some of those things down, because you know, some people don't write things down. They certainly don't write down their promotion evidence, and you know, in some forces you don't have a promotion application process. They just have an interview or some other additional elements of the assessment process. And if you've never written down your own evidence and made it tangible on a piece of paper in front of you, well, good luck to you, because you're having to try and remember and recall all that in an interview process, instead of actually thinking, okay, I've laid it out, I've structured it, I've practiced and rehearsed it a little bit, so at least it's straight in my head. So although it doesn't come across as practiced and rehearsed, it has been, and therefore you're going to be able to deliver it better, whether you'll get given the questions in advance or not, and some forces do that, or whether you just want to get yourself straight ahead of an interview so that you know what's clear, so that when you hear the questions you can recognize part of them. If you do the depth and breadth of research that I'd encourage you to do, and that my downloadable toolkits and promotion masterclass video supports you in doing, if you can do that, If you can give yourself the best opportunity, then you're more likely to prevail in a promotion process. So there's a whole lot of stuff I'm going to talk to you about very quickly now. But all of this is just about setting the stage, if you like, setting the stage for your success, putting down your money, straight down, on the nose, on yourself to win. You're all in to win. I'm certainly all in with the people that I support, and I want you to be successful. I believe in the potential of everybody that I support, and when you bear in mind I support lots and lots of officers through one-to-one mentoring and coaching sessions, promotion masterclasses, but the flip side of that is hundreds of people that have been successful in promotion boards that have bought my downloaded my digital promotion toolkits and promotion masterclass I've never met. I only know of them because they've been kind enough to send me an email later on and say, hey Steve, I was successful on my promotion board, thanks very much for your toolkit. It was a super briefing ahead of the process. Now who wouldn't want a super briefing ahead of the process? And that's what today's about really. So I've talked about the goals this time of year, thinking it through, laying it out, trying to get something straight, try and protect some diary time, clear that desk space, and try and prioritise this challenge, this opportunity you've got for promotion that's coming up. So I mentioned and alluded that I had actually recorded a CVF, demystifying the CVF video, and I did that because so many people do not understand, do not get, and cannot work with the CVF, the Competency and Values Framework, which is the framework used by the College of Policing to assess candidates. I've already talked about that before. You need to spend a bit of time becoming familiar with it. If you don't, then there are consequences for it. You're not quite right with the process. You can't quite make those links. You don't quite understand when you're demonstrating those behaviours. And yet all you need to do now with the cup out is to protect some time, have a look at that video, or have a look at some of the blogs that I've done, and just familiarise yourself with the competencies, just familiarise yourself with the evidence you've got against each one. And I have done some quite in-depth blogs around some of the competencies because I don't think the CVF goes deep enough into them. So one of those, for example, will be we are emotionally aware, and I've done a blog on that that's quite in depth. I think I've done a couple of blogs on that because it is an absolutely critical component of effective leadership if you're going to put yourself forward for a formal leadership position in policing, to lead a team, to lead teams. And if you don't know too much about it, then that might just show itself in a process, whether that's through a briefing, a presentation, or through an interview. You know, you can't hide things, you can't hide your non-verbal communications, and if you're trying to come across as confident in an interview on something that you haven't really researched and don't know about, haven't raised your awareness of, then it will show to an interview panel, and then they may not think that you're congruent, that you know you're authentic, and you definitely need to be that in a process. So I'm going to talk to you now about the promotion toolkits that I offer for you to download, and they consist of different kind of products, but generally in the promotion masterclass toolkits that I offer, I call them the full Monty. So if you want the full Monty, if you like, there are different products in each toolkit, but the full Monty toolkit comes as the name suggests, with a interview guide to help you prepare for interview. Taking one step back for that, you've got the application guide, and then you've got a really detailed, structured evidence and examples guide of examples of promotion evidence, of what good promotion evidence looks like at the rank you're going for, so that you can have a look at that and think, well, how does my evidence align or correlate with that? Does mine look like that? Or have I been thinking about presenting my evidence in a way that it scores highly? So those guides in that toolkit have been tried and tested, and you can see hundreds and hundreds of testimonials of people that have kind of given feedback on that. What I've also done is put in there this year the CVF demystifying video into that toolkit, so it doesn't cost you any more money, but the video's in there. So that's an additional £99 worth of value put into there. But I think the important thing in there is the promotion masterclass video. So for those of you who are busy, and who isn't busy today, I don't know any cops. I've got 5 serving members of my family who are cops. I don't know any of them who aren't busy. So the time that you do get to set aside to really focus and prioritise on your promotion preparation is important. Now, that toolkit, the sergeant or inspector or chief inspector toolkit, with the promotion masterclass video, with the CVF demystifying video, and it also has an exclusive insights guide which you won't find in any of the other guides, is a complete toolkit for you to be able to hit the ground running straight into 2023 with everything you need to know. And if you want to spend, 4 hours for the promotion masterclass video, 3 hours on the CVF video, that's 7 hours of effective preparation. So you'll be thinking through and working through, food for thought and reflection, all focused on your goal of trying to achieve promotion this year. So a lot of this comes from a few years back, 8-9 years back now, maybe a bit longer than that, when I was kind of thinking about going for promotion. Yeah, it was longer than that, and I had to go all over the place. I had to here, there and everywhere to try and find material, information, articles, resources, someone who knew something about getting promoted. You know, I'm trying to find the Yoda that exists, that real experienced inspector or sergeant that was willing to give their time. Don't need to worry about that anymore. My downloadable digital toolkits will help you to take a quantum leap forward in terms of using your own experience and skills and skill set now of where you are and your policing experience, mixed with the information in the toolkits, which covers leadership styles, frameworks, delegation, strategic thinking, as I say, the detailed examples of policing scenarios and how that evidence is presented well, and the interview guidance, structures for structuring your evidence and verbal responses in interviews. I wish someone had written that for me years ago. So that's what I did when I started Rank Success. I wrote those guides, and the versions now that I'm putting out now. So for instance, the promotion interview guide, whether you buy it on its own or in the toolkit, is now updated, improved. It has dozens more practice interview questions, and people have described those as gold dust, because you can only think of so many when you're under pressure. Well, there's loads and loads and loads, dozens of them, and dozens more now for you to sit down with a family member, a friend or a loved one or a colleague, and sit down and get them to ask you some questions, and you to start building that confidence about responding verbally to potential interview questions that you might face. And you're seeing the toolkits and my articles that I believe you can predict them. You can predict almost all of them. Why? Because they've been asked before, and if they're not asked before, then there's a slightly different twist on it. But also think about what the challenges are facing your force at the moment. Specifically, what does your force need to do to get better? How will you do that as a newly promoted leader, whether that's sergeant, inspector or chief inspector? All of those kind of questions are in there to trigger and to provoke and to support your thinking around that, and to help you put that important practice in so that you come across as confident. I've also put in the interview guide a new diversity and inclusion section, and one about imposter syndrome. So one of the things that often comes up in coaching sessions is people don't feel good enough. They don't feel they're good enough, even though they're absolutely brilliant. And we talk through their evidence, and it's off the Richter scale. It's really good, and yet they still don't feel they're quite there. So imposter syndrome is something that many people experience, myself included, if I'm honest. Having worked through that and read through that, I recognise times where, particularly when I was in the Royal Marines, going through the training in Royal Marines, and sometime in my career as a police officer, particularly when I got promoted, or when you are managing incidents or leading incidents, you can sometimes have imposter syndrome come and sit itself on your shoulders as an unwelcome guest. Yeah, move through it. you can move through it, and there's a little article there in the guide around doing that. And so there's an extra 16 pages just in that guide now for you to move on with as a result of kind of food for thought and reflection that I've had this year, and from comments and from good feedback from my blogs. So that's kind of match fit, if you like, ready to go. So those toolkits now have added value in there. I know it's difficult at the moment. What's inflation in double figures at the moment? I've kept the prices the same, and yet I'm adding more value to them. And so if you buy the toolkit, the full Monty toolkit, for example, you're saving £200, nearly £200. And then if you use the 20% saver code on top of that, which is RS Guides 20, all block capitals, no gaps, RS Guides 20 at checkout, you get 20% off that. Now here's the best thing with that is, in your first paycheck, in your new rank, you get that investment back. So just whipping back to the beginning of this video where I say if you're going to put your money down on your own nose, all in to win, then in terms of a promotion super briefing, you probably won't get better than that anywhere else. And before I kind of finish on that, I just wanted to say a couple of other things around the support that I offer with that, including the toolkits, is that it's 24/7, 365. It's accessible, same as the hours you work. It's the most and the best free content. So even if you don't buy my toolkits, you'll still find stuff for free there. Free blogs, free videos, free podcasts, and I shall keep putting those out through 2023. But as I say, the premium toolkits allow you to have that personal, your very own super briefing right at your fingertips, downloaded straight to your device, and then you can make the best use of that time possible. So people say that they're listening to it, they are walking their dog, they are using their days off, their rest days, or parts of the rest days, to work with this stuff, and they don't have to go off looking for it. They don't have to spend time researching, because all the links are in the guides, and all the direction and signposting is there to further resources. It's flexible, so you can download them to any device. iPads are great. Phones, if you've got the ones that look like small colour TVs, are good as well. And of course laptops, etc. And some people, I didn't realise, some people screen my mug to their TV, which is a bit of a thought there. But some people do. You can screen it from your computer to your TV if you want to. I am always constantly an innovating update. So in relation to the managing and leading investigations video that I've just done, I've picked up on the fact the College of Policing are asking you, they need you to help and support them in terms of advice and guidance and experience to update the process of investigation. So I'm always I'm really interested in this stuff, and I'm always listening out and looking out for it, and I will put out some videos, some guidance, some blogs for you around those topics, just to get you thinking about it ahead of your promotion process. The stuff that I'm putting out now is really detailed, it's tried, it's tested over and over and over again. Just have a look at the testimonials on my site and you'll see different examples from sergeants, newly promoted sergeants, inspectors, chief inspectors, telling you, you know, what the experience was like for them of using this promotion super briefing toolkit for themselves. As I say, it's highly recommended by countless officers now. There's a relentless focus by me on what works in promotion, and that has changed over a period of time, but there are some real essentials that are there, and those values of honesty, integrity, fairness, respect, the concept of leadership is there, and very, very much so now well-being and looking after your teams, because people are the most important resource in the organisation, the most effective asset the organisation has. So rather than just talking about it now, there's people actually walking the walk with it now. So very much a big area, well-being and welfare. My services are confidential in terms of we're doing one-to-one. It's confidential. I may ask you for some feedback from time to time, but unless you're going to admit some breaking the law, I adhere to coaching principles of confidentiality. I mean, I could go on. I mean, there's no Zoom, no Teams, no Skype, you know, Wi-Fi issues. It's a super briefing. It's there at the tip of your fingers whenever you want to. The promotion masterclass video, you can play, stop, rewind whenever you want to. You can work through the notes, work through the guides, and if you want to come on a live masterclass, well, I'm starting those again from Saturday 18th of February or Saturday the 18th of March. There's the first two, so hop on over to my site and have a look. If you want to come to a live event, you can do that as well. I think that's about it really, but what the point really I wanted to make with this is there is a promotion super briefing available for you whenever you want it. Don't feel that you have to go on that journey that I went on and many other people in my period of policing, if you like. I finished in policing in 2014, and before that, you know, people went off on a right quest. It used to be called a quest to get promoted. I don't want that for you. I want you to be able to download a professional digital promotion toolkit and a video and all the information you need so you can just crack straight on with it into 2023. And whatever you decide to do, there's a whole load of free information there anyway, and I wish you the very best with it. I'm out of the traps straight into 2023. As I say, a couple of promotion masterclasses. I'm looking forward to getting stuck in, and I wish you the very best wherever you are on your promotion journey, and I will be back with another video to follow this one in due course. Until then, take care and stay safe, and a happy 2023.